Cholo Nerd joining me.
I'm back.
We are going to spoiler talk Thor Ragnarok. Does it live up? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin.
I'm the Cholo Nerd.
And we are going to spoiler talk Thor Ragnarok. Now, if you saw my spoiler-free review, you got some idea what my thoughts are. This is our spoiler talk, where we're going to dive more into the spoilers and deeper things of this film and get, more into
down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, we're going to get down into the nitty-gritty. And I think the bottom line is, Cholo Nerd and I walked out disappointed. Now, I'm not saying I hate the movie. I thought it was good, and it was entertaining. But I guess, I don't know, maybe because it's Marvel, I'm holding it up to a much higher standard, and so I walked out disappointed. But I walked out, I didn't walk out like, that's the worst movie I've ever seen. Can you put your finger on it? Like, what was the disappointment?
I think what the huge disappointment is, we're waiting for the Infinity Wars.
Yes!
Like, everybody's so fired up for that, and everybody's like, Thor's gonna lead us right into the Infinity Wars, which it did not. Like they say every movie, there's gonna be something to do with the Infinity Wars. Not really.
Maybe that post-credit scene with the big ship, but we don't know.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if Thanos showed up in that ship because the ship on the leaked trailer looks totally different.
Which I'm saving my eyeballs for it to be an official trailer.
Yeah, he wants the official. I watched the official bootleg trailer, and it was great. But I get it, because the trailer they're going to release on TV is going to look totally different.
Yeah.
This was a huge teaser, and it was great. But Thor did not live up to the hype to me at all. Like, the Thor movies have been my least favorite movies of the Marvel Universe. And it's did what it normally... I guess I shouldn't have expected much from it.
Yeah, well, the Thor movies have not been my least favorite. Like, the first Thor I loved. Kenneth Branagh, when he directed it, he had this right mix of the humor, of the drama, and of the action. And I felt like it was balanced right. And one of the things I like about Kenneth Branagh, because I used to do a lot of stage plays and I did a lot of Shakespeare, and Kenneth Branagh is very Shakespearean, and he brought that quality to it. And that quality has this balance. And so when I look at this movie gave me some great laugh out loud moments. It was hysterical in some moments.
The humor was excellent.
But to me, it felt like the humor is the salt, and you're supposed to just salt the meal so it tastes better.
Yeah.
And it felt like somebody unscrewed the top of the salt shaker and all the salt poured out. And I felt like they leaned so heavily on the 80s vibe. Mm-hmm. And they just simply for no other reason other than it's popular now to do that.
Yeah.
And they leaned heavily on the 80s vibe. And I felt like when you're doing Ragnarok, the end of the universe, the end of all things as we know it.
The end of Asgard.
The end of Asgard, which, well, that turns out that's all this was the end of Asgard.
Yeah.
But when you're doing something like that and Thor is exiled, to me that feels like this movie should be more Winter Soldiered. You know? Winter Soldier had humor, and it was hilarious in parts. But the action and the fighting and all that stuff was just so awesome. This movie just...
Yeah.
It felt like it was Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah. They gave a Spider-Man type of humor to a non-Spider-Man type of humor character.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Thor has never been the funniest guy out there. He makes his little wits, his tough guy wits, which are great, but he talked too much.
Yeah.
He talked too much and he joked too much.
Yeah.
And it's not Thor. It felt forced.
Yeah. And the other thing, okay, I'm glad you said forced because that just triggered the other thing I want to talk about. The whole first 10 or 15 minutes of this movie, it felt so rushed. It kind of felt like...
It did.
Okay, so Thor left at the end of Age of Ultron to seek out Infinity Stones. Okay, so we'll have him bound up in these chains, and he'll quickly do some narration to let us know that's why he's not been back to Asgard. So we'll just knock that pin down. And now we gotta go to the next pin. Oh, that's right, Loki took over as Odin, so we gotta do that big reveal. Okay, we knocked that pin down. Oh, we had the end credits of Doctor Strange and Thor was there. Okay, we gotta throw that in there, knock that pin down. And that's what it felt like. It didn't feel like they were taking time with it to have fun with it. It felt like move. It was oddly paced.
Some random scenes. It's like they just basically retraced their steps.
Yeah.
In random increments. It was like, okay, like you said, Doctor Strange. Okay, Loki's still in charge. Mm-hmm. Oh man, he's looking for Infinity Stones. He found Zero.
Yeah.
He's locked up now, My dad's gone. Let me go find him too. It's like, okay. But it was rushed. It didn't set anything, didn't build much.
No.
Other than the dad,
And the main problem with the rushing for me? we had Odin die, and it was nothing. It was no
There was
big
no
moment.
impact on it.
Yeah, there was no impact with it. It was
Your
just he's
dad
dead,
just
and now we
died.
move on. And then Hela gets to Asgard, and Sif is gone with no mention, and then she kills the Warriors 3. Like that. Like there was nothing ceremonial about it.
Yeah.
It was just, hey, we're here with a cameo. Oh, there's a sword in my chest. I'm dead.
Looks like, oh, it's my time, so goodbye.
Yes, and I was just,
Yeah, no, I
you
get
know what?
that.
I'm being really mean right now, but it's just, I'm sorry. It's how I felt. Like, these were important characters, and there was no ceremony.
Yeah. Odin just like, you know,
I'm on a different path. I will now melt into the stars.
he's like, you know what? I'm proud of you guys.
Except you. But I kind of like you, Loki, but you're
He's like,
mean.
oh, by the way, you got a daughter. She's gonna destroy everything because she's mad because I locked her in a room for her whole life.
Yeah.
So good luck with that, guys.
Yep. And then on top of it, to add insult to injury, they're in Norway. They're standing on the green fields overlooking the ocean, and all I could think is, are you standing in like a newsroom studio with that quality of green screen?
Yeah, it was
because
bad.
the lighting is not matching the lighting outside. I could definitely tell around you that you are chroma keyed in there. You are not in Norway right now.
Yeah, definitely not in Norway.
Yeah.
Can I say something kind of lighting up?
Yeah.
I love Korg in this movie. He was the best. Like, I like his little humor. And, you
Yes.
know, he always made these little comments, and then you're like, oh, okay. Like, but one thing I did like about the movie was they had good humor, but what I didn't like is they use it as a Band-Aid.
Right.
To cover up some bad parts. I don't know if the director's cut's going to be different or what, but there's a whole lot of chunks missing in this movie that we need.
Yeah, and I feel like the pacing, and I'm going to try to move towards positives, because again, I am not saying this movie is a total loss. But I feel like, what is the right words? When Hulk appeared on the screen, it began to even out. I felt like the pacing got a little bit better.
Yeah.
I felt like the characters between Hulk and Thor was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked how Hulk can talk now. And Hulk had this personality, and it was hilarious to watch Thor relate to it. You were always my favorite. You are the strongest one.
Yes.
And then when he turns back into Banner, you were always my favorite. That big guy's just kind of,
He's-
dumb and
He
brutish.
plays both sides.
Yes,
yeah.
and
He's
like-
that total kid, with their parents, mom,
Yeah.
dad, just so he can get what he wants.
Yeah, and things like that I thought were really, really cool.
I like how Thor kept trying to show off how cool he was, and it just didn't work out for him. Like that little bowling ball, and he's like, well, because I'm going to bust out of here because I'm a superhero. Bah, knocks himself out.
Hits the window.
And just
back
bounces
into the
right
face.
back. And you're like, oh, well, that was hilarious. You're like,
Yes.
okay, that was well written. That was good.
Yeah.
But still missing so much in this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. So,
Korg, I loved at the
Yep.
end where he's like, where did your buddy come from? He's like, oh, I stepped on him. He's dead. But I felt bad, so I just been carrying him around all day. Then he wakes up. Oh, he's alive.
Yes.
And he's like all happy about it. I was like, and that threw me out because I thought Korg died in the first Thor.
oh yeah, the big rock guy, because Thor just in
'cause
one hit took him
That's
out.
exactly what Korg.
I mean, the
looks like.
second Thor, not the first Thor. The second
The
Thor.
second Thor. You're
Yeah.
right. It was the second Thor, but it's like that's what Korg looked like in the comic books, not like the one here in this one.
Yeah.
And they crushed his skull and he died, but maybe that was Korg's dad. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I really like Korg. I thought Korg was a great character. I liked the way he talked. I like his dry wit and humor. And I liked when Loki appeared to Thor in that little illusion form, and then Korg comes running up, "Get out of here, Ghost Man!" and starts like kicking at the wall.
Yes.
like all kinds of great
Can I
moments
say,
like that.
Matt Damon, best cameo ever.
Oh, God.
Best cameo ever. Ever. I did not see that coming. Matt freaking Damon
I didn't
just
see that
rolls
coming
up.
either.
And he's doing theater in the park, as Tony Stark would say. And he's playing Loki, and he's doing an excellent job
Oh, man.
of dying as
Oh, my
Loki,
gosh.
and as in Thor 2, oh my god.
And that scene was brilliant to see Thor come home and see his dad
Eating grapes.
eating grapes.
Like the Greeks.
Yep, lounging on the couch, and then Matt Damon as Loki, like, he's such the hero.
That was awesome.
So great.
And I did like how, I don't know his name, but I know he's the doctor on Star Trek,
Oh, yeah, Carl Urban is the
Yeah,
actor.
Carl Urban. I liked him in the beginning, like he's trying to show off in front of the ladies, like he's
Yes.
this cool guy. But then all of a sudden, things go wrong with him, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna take her side because I want to live. But then he's Asgardian. They hold to a code, and I liked at the end how he just looked and he's like, you know what? I need to defend my country. And he wanted to make things right.
Yep.
He was being a coward, and he took the champion's way out, and he whipped out his 2 guns from Texas. That's right, from Texas. Dez and Troy. And I was like, oh, Dez Bryant, Troy Aikman, nice. New hero for Dallas. Old hero, one of my all-time favorites. And then you put it together, it's Destroy. And I was like,
that was great.
I thought you were totally going cowboy. Maybe a little bit of both. But I love that he whipped out Destroy.
Yes.
His Texas guns and started blasting fools.
Yes, that was awesome at the end to see him do that.
It really was, yeah.
I liked his character. I thought his character had a cool little arc there, where just trying to impress the ladies, do whatever it takes to survive, and in the end, like you said, he's Asgardian.
He's Asgardian, and it started weighing on, like, this isn't right.
Yeah.
You could tell he did not want to kill that girl when they like brought her down. They're asking, where's the sword at? And he's just looking like, I really don't want to kill my own people. He bit off more than he can chew, but he knows he's in a spot. If you don't kill her, he dies. And then eventually he makes it right and starts blasting fools and dies.
Yeah, and I thought that was really cool. So I like Karl Urban. I thought he had a good part in that.
I'm a doctor. I'm not a warrior. I was hoping he would do one of those lines. Those are the best lines when he says those.
Yeah. What did you think of Thor losing his eye?
That threw me off. When Thor lost his eye, I was like, in the trailer, he didn't lose his eye or anything, so that kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
And even in the leaked trailer, the Infinity Wars, when they showed Thor, he had 2 eyes. I mean, it doesn't mean they can't CGI it or just, you know, he's got a patch, they can put a little patch over it, but that caught me off guard. That was kind of cool because even when she sliced him, I didn't know he lost his eye.
Yeah.
I just thought she cut him.
Until his face turned, and then all of a sudden you just see that blood there. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, and even then I was still kind of like, oh crap, did he? No, I don't know. He maybe just bleeding, and then I realized, oh, okay, he lost his eye. I was like, oh dang, like that boy lost his eye.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Hela was pretty awesome, but I wish there was more of her.
I think I agree with that. I thought she was amazing, great actress, great everything about it. But I wanted more. Like you said, like she got hit by that one giant bolt of lightning when Thor learned to master his powers without the hammer, which was awesome.
Yes.
And then, but instead of him going back and fighting her, he went and fought the army, which also was awesome. Like the visuals in this movie were incredible. So like that was awesome. But like you said, one thing that could have given us more is if he just decided to continue to fight her, mano y mano, just to distract her at the very least.
Yeah.
Just to show the full brunt of her power and the full brunt of his without a hammer. That would have been cool.
Because she drops, and then like he's like, okay, like I'm done with her. You're like, she ain't dead. You know better. How many times have you fallen, you know? And I liked when they showed her fighting the army.
Yes.
Of Asgard.
Oh,
she's telling them, I'm the new queen here. This is the rules.
That was a great scene.
And this is how it's going to be. And they're still going to rise up against her.
Yeah.
And she took out a whole army by herself, like, easily. And the fight scene was incredible because you get to see how powerful she is. Not only does she have, like, powers, but she knows how to fight.
Yeah.
She's a weapon, you know?
Yeah. And I thought it was a really awesome scene. And the other scene that was kind of like that was the opening when Thor was fighting the fire dude down below the ground, and he was fighting all the minions.
I forget his name.
I do too. But what was really cool is when Thor took his hammer and he threw it, and the camera follows the hammer, and then in the background blurred, you're just watching Thor like fight.
Yeah.
And like, so a lot of the action when they did it was just so cool, and it looked really good. And I do just wish we got a little bit more Thor and Hela fighting. We got to see a little bit more of Hela's supreme power and things like that.
I like how Banner in the movie, when he became Banner again, and he was like all scared and being weird. He's like, I need you to help me fight my sister. No, that's a family issue. I'm not getting involved in family issues. You know, all of a sudden this guy, you know, Banner's, he don't know what's going on. He's been lost for 2 years.
Yes.
He's been a Hulk for 2 years. And then
he sees
that
Banner
girl,
locked in the mine somewhere. Yep.
And then Banner's like, sees that girl and she's like, I feel like I know you. He's like, I feel like I know you too. He's like, well, it's because the Hulk knows her. And turns out, here's one thing I never thought I would see. A Hulk butt.
Oh, gosh.
Hulk had a nude scene in that movie.
Oh,
it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was
He's
pretty
just
hilarious.
Chilling on the wall, and you see his butt. It's muscular, by the way. And
I
Thor
never
got
thought
to
I'd see the day.
Thor got to see the other side of it,
Yeah.
and he says it's in his brain now. He can't.
Yep, burning his brain.
Things can't be unseen for Thor, but
Yep, you have the Hulk bathing in his hot tub after a massive battle, standing up. Oh, yep, that's in my head now. You are naked. You are naked. Like, that was so
I
great.
do like how they always ask Hulk, "How you doing?" He's like, "Winning." Like, that's it. Like, that's the only thing he cares about is just beating fools down. Which he does beat Thor down, and I like how Thor's like, "No, I won." Like, Thor didn't even stand a chance. He got some good punches in there, but like just basically continuing off the first Avengers, he got his butt whooped.
Yep.
Infinity Wars is going to be amazing, I
Yeah.
hope, because that one dropped me because it didn't lead up to the Infinity Wars like they said.
It definitely, not even in the post-credit scenes, except maybe the big ship could be something, but we didn't
I'm
really...
assuming the big ship is Thanos, but in the trailer it doesn't look like the same ship. Maybe it's his minions, his kids, the Black Order could be there.
Okay.
I'm not sure. One thing we noticed that can kind of leak for the trip, not leak, but kind of like lead towards the Infinity Wars. Loki, when he went down to the trophy room, took a second look at the Tesseract. That is an Infinity Stone that we
was
need.
interesting.
So that could be one thing, but if they're using that as their, leading up to the Infinity Wars, Thanos, there's more powerful stones in the Tesseract. Well, there's one in Vision's head.
Right.
And the Nova Corp has the other one.
Yep.
And Earth also has another one.
The Time Stone.
The Eye of Agamotto. So you got two on Earth. You got a Tesseract with Loki's eyes on it.
Yep. I think we had to watch Loki eye that, so that when we saw Asgard get destroyed, we would know where the Tesseract went.
Yeah. All in all, the movie was fun, though.
It was fun.
It was a disappointment, but it was fun.
Yeah. I felt... Okay, so Valkyrie...
Uh-huh.
I felt like there's a little love connection between Thor and her. Not much of one, but
you could tell like there's some type of chemistry going on.
Yeah, they're playing with the chemistry, and all I could think is to the Sif, who we know not where she is. All I could think is, poor Sif. She is forever friend zoned. She was friend zoned by a mortal, and now she's being friend zoned by one of her own kind, an Asgardian. It's like, oh my gosh, poor Sif.
A runaway kind too. One's like, you know what? I don't even want to be a part of this land. I'm just gonna be crazy and sell people to fight. And Thor's like, you know what? I like her.
Poor Sif. I really do feel bad for her.
Sorry, Sif. It's just not in your cards. Thor don't want you. You're his best friend.
Yep.
Friend Zone 101.
On that lovely note, what's your rating?
I'm going to give it a C. A really low rating because it did not live up to the hype or lead me to the Infinity War.
Yeah. I mean... This one was a really hard one for me to rate. It really was, because I like the MCU. I didn't walk out hating this movie. I will buy it on Blu-ray when it comes out. It's going to be in my collection. Yeah. I am going to watch it again, but I think a B- is where I've settled out. Because, that B range is something that I'm going to want to watch again. It's something I'm going to buy, so I think that's just why I had to at least put it in the B range. But... yeah, I walked out a little disappointed. It had some good stuff. It had some good humor. It just didn't feel like it was balanced quite correctly. It just felt like way too much salt thrown on the food. That's kind of what it felt like to me. But that's me personally. But, as it turns out from me having conversations with other people I know, you and me are the only two people in the world that walked out disappointed.
Right? Except the people behind us. They said the same thing. They're like, it was just okay.
Yeah.
It was like, just like the other ones, just didn't live up. And it did. It was just like the other ones.
Yeah.
Just like the Thor franchise to me has been the weakest one. Yet he's one of the strongest Avengers, which we learned he's still not the strongest, even according to Tony Stark's, jet. Hulk's still the strongest.
That's right. Well, what did you think of Thor Ragnarok? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let's have a nice, civil conversation about that in the comments. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Next to that button is the bell. Click it so you're notified the moment I drop new videos. More movie reviews, theological analyses, trailer reactions, ranking videos. So much more fun stuff. So, I'm Durbin.
I'm the Cholo Nerd.
Thanks for checking out Durbania.